Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back together again, and in today's video, we're doing a review for a remake of an older Disney film, The Parent Trap. Now, what's interesting about this one is, I actually have never seen the original Parent Trap. I've only seen the one with Lindsay Lohan, which is the one we'll be talking about right now. And so with that said, let's just go ahead and get started reviewing The Parent Trap. And I think with this movie, the story that they told was really well done. And obviously, you know, I'm pretty sure it's the same story from the original. But what makes this movie so unique are the characters, the little scenes that they add, the little music cues, and it also just has this nice classic vibe to it that makes it feel like a Disney classic. And I think that's just the thing that I love about it, in that it's a story that it's so clever, where you have these two twins that happen to meet at the same camp, and so they realize they're sisters. So the way that they can get their parents back together is they switch places, and that creates for emotional scenes to where you can see each character of the different families interacting, and you can like see different things happening, and it's just so awesome and cool to see, while at the same time being funny and at the same time heartwarming and sweet. And yeah, so the story in here really works. So what's actually interesting about this is, I think the cast in this movie is actually very good. Obviously, the main standout here is, of course, Lindsay Lohan, playing two versions of herself, quite literally, actually. And what's actually interesting, so here's what happened. So, I started watching Lindsay Lohan when I was very young. My sister showed me Mean Girls at a very young age, and I don't know exactly why she showed it to me, but she happened to really like it, and she decided to show me. She showed me a lot of movies back then. And then a couple of years back, I watched Freaky Friday, and then I also watched, of course, The Parent Trap. And what's so crazy is Mean Girls, you go to Mean Girls, Lindsay Lohan is at the peak of her game. That is peak Lindsay Lohan right there, because she is beautiful as this teen who acts like this popular girl. And then you have, what's her name? Her in Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis, and she looks really good. And then you get this one, and she, even though she's not like beautiful like she was in Mean Girls, but she is still quite adorable. And her performance of playing twin sisters is just incredible, and the way that she's able to play herself. One that has a British accent and all that stuff and has longer hair, but then this other one which is seems a lot more innocent, but has a lot of innocence to her, and is a lot, you know, speaks proper English. And in some ways, it's like with these two versions, it's like you like both of them, but they're the same person, though one of them is playing someone else to do the part. For the other characters, you got Dennis Quaid in here. I think he's great. You also got the mom in here, who happened to pass away a few years back. But what's so interesting is the characters, the butlers, they're all, like, one has a butler, one has a butler, and they're all interesting and fascinating. And so it's like, they made the world they made each world interesting, and I honestly really dug that. So, and what's actually crazy is, Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to be, The Parent Trap is inspired for Beyond the Spider-Verse to do that, since we got two different Miles. So we're possibly going to get Miles Morales, Spider-Man, in the Rogue Prowler universe, and then Prowler Miles is going to go to Spider-Man's universe to go to try to stop the Spot. I'm guessing that's what it is, but that would be a cool, interesting thing. And not only do we get to see of what's going on with Miles' world, but also to explore and introduce this whole new world of what would happen if Miles never became Spider-Man. He became the Prowler, and there was a cartel crew. Sorry, went off the rails there. Back to Parent Trap. And I guess the final thing we'll talk about here is the sincerity and everything of this movie feels real. The relationship between the parents, the relationships between everyone, it feels real, but it feels like classic Disney that feels right, and I love it. But also, there's also plenty of good comedy to where you kind of spend the last, like, several minutes where Dennis Quaid takes his twin daughters on a trip with his new fiance. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest, it is funny, it is kind of enjoyable to watch, but I feel like if you took that last bit out of the movie and you just had Dennis Quaid's fiance being embarrassed and humiliated in front of all people, and then you end the movie with them getting back together with the other mom, I think it would have ended perfectly there. You didn't need to do the whole road trip, them get broken up, and then brought back together again. It was honestly such a weird thing to happen. So, besides that, the movie is still very funny. There's plenty of good humor, but the emotions are there. And that is my thoughts on The Parent Trap 1998. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.